What's up, GF? Gord, what's going on, man? Liam, my hype man, how you doing? Clip, you're here a little bit early. No work tonight? Roland, what's going on, guys? Hello, everybody. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm in love with the one voter who put Bronson Arroyo. I know. I was kind of surprised he got any votes, honestly. What's going on, Ethan? Chat, how are we feeling? A lot has gone down. Did that do anything for you guys? A lot has gone down since we were last on a live stream, which is really interesting. We got a lot to talk about today. What's up, Adrian? Lawrence, super hyped? I'm super hyped as well. I love these live streams. I love hanging out with you guys. I wish I could do them more often, but I just simply don't have the time. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Liam, if I ever get famous enough to need an agent, you're going to be my agent. No one hypes me up like you do. we got the Duvall signing that happened, the Mondesi trade that happened, everything with the winter weekend and all the crazy stuff that went down that winter weekend. We've got Barnes DFA. I'm trying to think of everything that happened in between there. There's been a ton. Story, Arroyo, Kike infield, combined 80 games this year. Going to be crazy. I don't know. I think I think Kike, I think this is Kike's year. I got a feeling this is Kike's year. I'm pretty excited about it. I genuinely think this is going to be Kike's year. I just tweeted that out today. Already famous by the things you do on your platform. Appreciate that, Lawrence. We're getting closer. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to I don't know, build as big as a community as we can. Yeah, I think Mondesi was a W. I think Josh Taylor's such an unknown. Oh yeah, that's Jared Saltalamacchia, now enshrined in the red seat lore. I think with Josh Taylor, the more I examine the trade, that's the first thing I thought too, Alex, was his Mondesi's card in MLB Show was nuts. That one year he got one. That's the first thing I thought of too, is I wonder how good, if he'll be as good as his MLB Show card. On paper, this is the most boring Red Sox team. Not even horrible, just boring. I'm sure they can be a solid and change that, though, right now. I don't know about boring. I don't think this will be a boring team. I don't think this will be a boring team at all. I think, when you look at the team, right, you got Rafi, who's one of just the funniest, goofiest characters in all of baseball, but can also be one of the best players in baseball, right? You've got Tristan Casas, who is emerging as just this ridiculously different personality and loves to have fun with the game. And obviously that skill set is there. Whether it fully translates this year or not, I'm not sure. What's up, Ethan? Yoshida being on the team, looking at clips of him in Japan, I mean, he brought a weight set to the bench because he called himself Macho Man. That's a personality, right? Then you got Kike, who's sort of the outspoken leader of the Red Sox right now, who's really, he's always been an interesting personality. Doogie's always been an interesting personality. Christian Arroyo's just a really great guy. You've got, personalities like Chris Sale and Nick Pivetta on the mound. I don't know. I think this is going to be... I genuinely think this is going to be an entertaining team to watch. I'll miss Barnes. He was a reliever of all time. Yeah, I think I'll miss Barnes too. I think once he gets traded, once we see a trade for Matt Barnes, it'll be more telling as to why they decided to DFA him, but right now it really doesn't make a ton of sense. Again, unless there's a big trade coming. And I don't even know about big, but I think they tried to get rid of Brazier. We heard the rumors of them looking to trade Brazier. Obviously, that didn't happen. Um, we heard the rumors about them trying to shop Bobby. That didn't happen. I think they're just trying to make room, and no one wants these like sort of mid-tier players to bottom-tier players. And so they're going to have to do things like this where they DFA a guy like Matt Barnes, who obviously is not not a higher tier type player. But at the same time, too, I mean, again, you look at his second half of the season, especially the last 2 months, he had below a 2 ERA. So I think it's one of those things where you have to pick your poison, and if you want to make room on this roster, you have to trade someone. If Matt Barnes has value, then you got to do it. Red Sox do good if sales do good. Yeah, I fully believe that too. This year's team must stay healthy on paper. MLB Tonight made it sound like Boston signed up banged up players, washed up players, but health will be the major importance this season. It all comes down to health, yes. It will all come down to health, yes. I think if this team is genuinely healthy, it's going to be a really interesting season. But if right off the bat too, with Trevor Story going down, it's not a great sign. But if they can stay healthy, it's going to be an interesting season. If the Red Sox make the playoffs but don't win the division, do you think they will win the World Series as a wild card contender? I don't know. It all comes down to who's hot at the right time, right? We saw the Phillies do it last year. So I guess we'll kind of see with that. I don't know. It's good. What's good, Ethan? I'm talking about on-field play, Corbin. Like, how exciting is it to watch Kike and Turner? Will be fun, but I can't imagine being super excited watching them play. Well, I think a lot of their personality has to do with watching them play, you know? Chris Sale on the mound is always electric. Nick Pivetta, even though he's not the greatest pitcher on the world, on the mound is always electric, right? You've got Devers, who is one of the best hitters in the world. So that's going to be fun to watch, right? Costas' development will be fun to watch. Bayo's development will be fun to watch. Whitlock developing as a starting pitcher will be interesting to watch. What they do with Houck is going to be an interesting storyline. Duvall on the field will be interesting because if Duvall can hit, 220, 230 with 30 home runs, that's going to be a fun player to watch. So, as much as I understand the sentiment of, oh, this team isn't exciting, I get it. But I think they have the possibility of being exciting. Heim is okay. I'm not down on him like most, but he really screwed up keeping JD over Schwarber. He didn't choose to keep JD over Schwarber. JD opted in. I think gun to Heimblum's head, he's gonna say, or water gun. I don't want to get demonetized. Water gun to Heimblum's head. I think he would say he would have rather had Schwarber, but once JD opts in, you don't have a spot for him. It depends. Versatility, it depends. He said, versatility said, why would a team trade for him, basically, if they could just clear waivers and get him for nothing? It depends on, how bad people want him. And it's sort of a game, right? You could play... Heim Bloom or whoever's in charge of trading him can sort of play the game of, hey, listen, you guys could wait till waivers, or you could take the chance that another team doesn't want to do that. Right? And I think that's sort of the idea you have to go into with it. So, I don't know. I don't know if that's fully true or fully false. Would you trade Sale along with a top-tier prospect for a bona fide ace? I don't think Sale stays healthy all year. No, I don't think giving up the top tier prospect at this point anymore is worth it, right? Unless it's for like a legitimate bona fide. I'm talking Corbin Burns, Sandy Alcantara, guys like that. I don't even think about it because what's the point if the Red Sox plan right now is to make sure that their young core expands and develops correctly at the major league level, and sort of use this year not as a, I mean, yeah, the right word is bridge year, right? Why trade away that top tier stuff to try and fully compete this year? So I don't think I trade Sale along with a top tier prospect for an ace. Turner getting number 2 really irked me. What, the number 2 position? What's your confidence in the overall pitching staff? How do you think the Red Sox stack up in the division? Well, I'll tell you, they're definitely better than the Orioles. On paper, they are definitely better than the Orioles. I'm trying to think of every other. I mean, the Tampa Bay Rays, if their rotation can be healthy, they have one of the best rotations in baseball with McClanahan and Glasnow. But that just depends on injuries as well. The Yankees, kind of the similar thing, right? Where they have a great rotation on paper, but one injury and they're not as deep as most people think they are. The Blue Jays have a really good rotation. I don't love where our pitching staff is at right now, Benjamin, but if everything goes right, I think it could be a really solid rotation. Everything has to go right, and that's the biggest problem. That's my biggest concern, is everything has to go right. A tattoo in a couple of weeks? I know, man. You guys are killing it. I'm getting nervous. When I said I would get a tattoo at 5,000 subscribers, we were at 400 subscribers, or I think 1,000. We were somewhere in between 500 and 1,000 subscribers. Now we're 500 away. I am nervous. Duvall played better recently in corners. I hope he's okay in center field with Yoshi. So I was taking a look at that too, honestly. And if you, I'm going to pull up Adam Duvall's splits here for, because he played a majority of his games when healthy this year in center field. Yeah, he played 44 games in center field. Here, I'll put this on the big screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Hopefully this isn't a weird commercial. Remember that one time we got a super weird commercial? Anyways. So this is Adam Duvall this year, or well, last year in the outfield, okay? So he had a 0 defensive run saved, which is average, which is fine, right? 2 in total fielding runs above average. So a little bit above average there, and then 5 here. I mean, that's not bad statistic-wise for Adam Duvall. And then if you go here, and we take a look at his outs above average, because again, he did play most of his games this year. Again, smallish sample size with only 44 games in center field, but it at the same time, it was in center field for most of it. I also like how quickly Baseball Savant does this. His outs above average was in the 88th percentile. I mean, that only 12% of outfielders had a better outs above average than Adam Duvall did last year. And again, most of those games were in center field. And then you take a look at his sprint speed, slightly above average, but you get that better outfield jump. That's going to help a lot. And then arm strength, obviously, having a good arm in center field is important. So I'm more worried about Adam Duvall being fully healthy for a season than I am worried about him being an effective outfielder. Thoughts on Kike getting extended after this year? I would, if Kike's really killing it, mid-year, I wouldn't mind it. A 3-4 year extension wouldn't be the end of the world. But at the same time, too, he may wait out until free agency, especially if he's having a good year at shortstop. Shortstops get paid a lot more money than a utility center fielder. What's up, Eamon? 19 more days until pitchers and catchers report. I know, it really does feel like baseball's right around the corner. Would you be upset if they signed Trevor Bauer? Yeah. Michael, no, they're not going to. That's just what he got put as because it was a free number when he was added to the roster. I don't know if he'll actually be number 2. You must be happy Bloom gave you new material. It is nice to have something legitimate moves to talk about. I'll give you that, Eric. It is nice having legitimate moves to talk about. Who else was here before 1,000 subs? I know, I'm so nervous. Putting stride into Corbin's swing, it's pretty good. You beat yourself up for being rusty, but the stance and the hack, you looked like you knew what you were doing. Yeah, I mean, I played baseball for a long time, and the only thing I was good at was hitting. So it just, I forgot how to move my legs properly. Prediction on the Red Sox record this season? I think they're better than they are last year. What's up, TJ? What's going on, Yordi? Where do you think Matt Barnes is going? I have no idea. I don't know who would be that interested in picking him up to get a trade. I'm Bloom's in the chat, everybody. So I don't know. Brazier is holding my family hostage. Thanks, Cookie. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, as for where I think Matt Barnes is going, it could be anybody. It really could, because I don't think the Red Sox are going to be looking for a lot in return. I think they're looking to trade him as fast as possible so that they don't have to eat his salary. I'm good with Zach Greinke, Lawrence. I just, if we take a look at, I mean, we'll do this too. Is it Z-A-K? Zach? Yeah, it is. I mean, I just don't think Zach Greinke's going to be a guy who should be in Boston. I don't know. He's also, sometimes guys don't have the personality for Boston. And Greinke's a little bit of a head case. Yeah, I'm good with Greinke. The only thing that excites me is his walk rate. I mean, everything else is just down. Phillies, but not. What is Matt Barnes' contract? It's he's owed $7.5 million this year. Don't be surprised if the Nats pick him up if no trade. Yeah, Barnes will get picked up quickly if we don't get a trade, but they have to be trying to. I watched Brazier pitch. Barnes goes to the Dodgers and has a 1.3 ERA. Yeah. Greinke's a weird dude. I don't know if Greinke and Boston fans would really gel. I just don't see the matchup. I watched Brazier pitch, and honestly, he got a lot of blooper land, and he threw pretty quick. Got solid K numbers. Maybe a lucky year is a good one. Yeah, I think when we take a look at Ryan Brazier, I just don't get it. The other good thing about Duvall, that now that I'm looking at it too, is that he has had games at first base, which is nice as well. It's another backup first baseman. Because I don't know how well they're going to be using Turner at first base. So, yeah, his FIP was much lower than his ERA. I mean, that's by 2 full points more, right? That's like 2.17 ERA points below. So, maybe there is something there with Brazier that we're just missing. But I don't know. I just by eye test, I just don't like Ryan Brazier. Do I think Paxton will pitch well? I think Paxton will be okay. My guess is Paxton starts the year. My guess is Paxton starts the year in the bullpen. I wonder why Chafin hasn't signed anywhere yet. He seems like a great fit for the Sox pen. My fear with pitchers who have not been signed yet is either looking for a multi-year deal, especially for bullpen arms. It's not a great idea to give out 2-3 year deals. Look at how Diekman worked out. Look at how Matt Barnes worked out, right? There's in the bullpen, you're so volatile. One bad outing can throw off everything. I like the 1-year deals for guys in the bullpen because you just never know what's going to happen. So That's my fear with Chafin. My other fear is that if you're a pitcher that has not been signed yet, there's a chance that there's injury concern, and that's a big problem too. Steven, I don't know if shoulder issues and the velo drop's the reason why Barnes was dropped over Brazier. Brazier's had his fair share of injuries, and Barnes was hitting 96, 97 by the end of the year, so I don't know. Under over Casas 140 games at first. I would say under, but not by that much. I would say Casas ends up with 130-ish games at first base. 0 to 100% on likelihood Red Sox make a run at Shohei Ohtani. Like 30. Do you think Bayo makes the leap this year? I think Bayo gets close to making that leap. Yeah, I don't know if he ends up being like a superstar, all-star. I knew there was a hair on my face. A superstar, all-star type pitcher this year, but I think he does make a big step forward. You forgot about Barnes' buyout, $250 million for 2024. Yeah, but I don't know how much that affected him. I don't know how much that affected his DFA choice. Will Devers stay healthy all year? I have faith Devers will be healthy, yeah. But look at Brazier's projections. What's up, Eric? Diaz. Oh, we got two Erics. Both spelling their name the same way. Interesting. Do you think Sale will be healthy? I don't see any reason why Sale wouldn't be healthy this year. Yeah, I'm all set on Bauer. Would you rather have Andrus or Mondesi? I would rather have Andrus. Personally, but at the same time too, if your plan is to have Kike as your starting shortstop, it makes sense to just build up the depth. And Mondesi can play pretty good shortstop, or really good shortstop, pretty good second base. He can also play the outfield if he needs to. So, if we can get one or two more guys like that can play middle infield as well, then you got a couple of options. And that's really what the Red Sox need right now, because clearly you're not going to commit long-term to a legitimate shortstop with Marcelo Meyer, with Mikey Romero, with Nick York coming up, with there was another guy too, I forgot his name. So if you're not going to make that commitment, there's no point in spending legitimate money for a shortstop. You might as well build up that depth and just sort of rotate your middle infield a little bit. Evan, I don't think they're going to trade Mondesi for Javier Baez. Would be interesting, though. Who do you think the Red Sox All-Stars will be? I think it'll be Devers. I think if Christian Royal plays full-time at second base, there is a legitimate chance he's an all-star second baseman. The second baseman crop in the AL isn't insane, right? You got Altuve, you got Simeon, but outside of that, maybe you talk about Andres Gimenez. Was that a one-time off season, or is he going to be good next year? You look at Espinal on the Blue Jays. Is he going to be good like he was last year? I think there's a legitimate chance if Christian Arroyo has a really solid year and is healthy enough to play a full length season at second base, there's a pretty decent chance that he's an all-star. I'm just saying. I swear Ryan Brazier has compromising pictures or information. Someone in the front office. Coffee, yeah, Christian Coffee. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you. What's your opinion of Nick York? I think Nick York has the potential to be a really, really good hitter at the major league level. He had a rough year last year, but he hit over 300 in the fall league. I think when he's fully healthy, he is right back in there. He is good to go. So, I don't know. I think Nick York has a lot of potential. So it's one of those things we're gonna have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see on Nick York. It's so difficult right now for me to wrap my head around what the Red Sox are going to look like in 24, 25 because, A, the Red Sox want all these brand new, big name minor leaguers to make it, and that's just not going to happen, right? The odds of all of our 10 top prospects being someone at the big leagues is like 0.01%. In reality, 2 or 3 of those guys are going to be everyday players, and probably only one of them is going to be a legitimate superstar. Matt Barnes to the Brewers could be. If you know you have to DFA a player, why aren't you trying to arrange a trade before that? There are things that I don't understand. Well, part of it is you can't find a trade partner, right? There have been public rumors of the Red Sox trying to trade Dahlbeck, trying to trade Brazier, and not getting anything after that. So there could not be a trade partner out there. B, the other option here too is that, hey, maybe there's a trade right on the horizon. And so they feel comfortable enough that they will be able to trade a Matt Barnes within the week you have to trade him. And that's why you DFA someone. It could also be because, hey, Duvall needs to get this signed. And if we don't get him signed, he's going to look somewhere else. So that's an option as well. Dahlbeck's fate. Ugh, man, I don't know. I think Dahlbeck ends up getting packaged. Somewhere. If he does end up on the team, I don't think it'll be in a big role. I could see him as an everyday AAA player. So, I don't know. Thoughts on trading back for Betts and Bogarts? Imagine they just clear out their entire farm system getting Betts and Bogarts back. That'd be so funny. Matthew Lugo, very underrated. Yeah, Matthew Lugo is very underrated for sure. Was the atmosphere at the Town Hall Forum as loud with boos as it seemed on the clips I saw? Probably louder. I mean, it was insane how loud the boos were. At one point, you quite literally could not hear Chaim Bloom talk. You could not hear John Henry talk. Throughout the entire thing, I mean, people were yelling Dave Dombrowski at him. People were yelling about him about ticket prices. I mean, it was just nonstop onslaught of just boos and jabs and stuff. It was crazy. It was probably louder than what you thought. Who do you think the Red Sox are better than the Rays for a playoff push? I'm not sure what you mean there, Evan. I want Waka, Profar, and Chafin. I don't think Profar would be a bad one at this point. Meyer will be the GOAT. We'll see. What are your thoughts on Blaze? I think there's a good chance Blaze shoots up the top 100 this year. It kind of depends, right? The big thing with Blaze right now is people don't know whether or not his approach is going to develop. That's kind of the one thing holding Blaze back right now is that he swings and misses a lot. But again, he's also in rookie ball, so it could be one of those things where, as you age and grow up, you get better. And this year he's playing, I think he was in the Florida Complex League last year, so he'll probably be in low A this year. We'll see. Familia's with Arizona right now. Yeah, I saw that. They signed him. It was so funny because someone put out an article like the Arizona Diamondbacks are trying to improve their system or improve their back end of their bullpen. So they've signed Urias Familia. And I was like, well, I don't know how much of an improvement that's going to be. Do you think Duran will be traded before the season? I don't know if Duran will get traded before the season. I think the Red Sox are looking at Duran right now. They see the fact that he can play second base. He can be a body in the outfield if need be. He's fast, right? And if you can get that hit tool out of him, he can be a really productive player. With the lack of depth the Red Sox have in the minor league system right now, or at the major league level, I mean, in middle infield depth, I don't know if they trade Duran. I'm going to make a video about this probably on Friday, talking about the possibility that the Red Sox think about playing Duran at second base this year. Did you meet Carabas? Yeah, I met and talked with Carabas. I did a little 2-minute interview. It's on the vlog if you guys want to check it out. There's a full 2 minutes right after he got off stage during the town hall, talking about the town hall and his experience with it. But yeah, super nice guy. Do you see us doing any big trades before the season starts? All right, Liam, I'll talk to you later, man. Thanks for stopping by and hyping us all up. I don't see any big trades coming. No, I don't see any like blockbuster crazy trades. There'll probably be some, I would say 2 or 3 more small trades like we saw with the Mondesi type stuff. But I don't see any like big crazy trades coming. No. I think they understand where they're at. I think they understand where the division is at, and I think they realize it might not be worth dumping our farm system to get someone, especially if you're going to get like as much as I'd love Ha-Seong Kim on this team, right? The Padres are demanding a lot for him, A, and B, you've only got 2 years of control for him. The Red Sox seem to be focused, at least in terms of big trades, on guys that are going to be here for 4 or 5 years, young, controllable players, and you're just not seeing teams trading for that right now. Bloom did say last year during the winter meetings that they were looking to explore trade options, but they're nothing to offer a team that the Red Sox could package up. Yeah. You think the Red Sox could have a deep playoff push? I think it all depends on the pitching, Evan. Am I the only one who likes the Hernandez jersey on the wall over the Devers one? You know, I get so many comments about the fact that the Devers last name is on the back of the jersey. Listen, when I'm buying jerseys to support the player, not the number. So I'm going to buy the one with the name on the back. I don't know what to tell you. Why are Fangraphs projected 2023 home runs so low, projecting Judge 44 home run leading the league? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with they think the MLB will deaden the baseballs. I honestly don't know if teams are going to be focusing on straight home run potential because of the new shift changes. What's up, Jack? Welcome in, my moderator. Have I told everyone the dark secrets of what really went on during winter weekend? No, but if you want, we can get into how all the stuff that wasn't in the video, because there was ton of stuff. So if you guys want me to talk about the inner workings of winter weekend, we can for sure. I just didn't know how many people would be interested. Would you be okay with Houck being involved in the Padres for Kim? I wouldn't, because I truly do like him, and I could see him being a Red Sox for life. I don't know if I see him being a Red Sox for life. I just don't think it's worth giving up Tanner Houck right now. In the position that you're at, I don't think so. Prediction for when Bloom finally makes a trade involving legit prospects for legit all-star, 24-25. I would say 2024 we see him make the big trade we've all been wondering would come this offseason. I think that'll be I think that'll be when he makes a legitimate move, because then you're going to probably get a better idea of where your big prospects are at, right? The big thing this offseason is teams want MLB controllable players or guys who are almost ready for the major leagues, and we just don't have many of those. So I think it'll be next year. Who's the starting catcher? I think Duran is worn out his welcome. I don't know if he's worn out his welcome. He's definitely going to have to work a lot. Who's the starting catcher for when pitchers and catchers report? I think right now you go Reese McGuire. I would go Reese McGuire personally. And then I think it's sort of a battle between Alfaro and Wong. I think it's a battle between Alfaro and Wong to see who's next. What's up, Austin? Nice to see you winter weekend and talk to you. Yeah, it was good talking with you too, Austin. I told you in the video, I'll tell you again. I truly appreciate you wearing my merchandise to winter weekend. That was an insane experience. So thank you. Would you rather get our lefty relievers out of Will Smith, Matt Moore? Matt Moore. I want the Red Sox to be good again. Did you guys see the Yoshida workout video? Yeah, the Yoshida workout video. I wonder if I could pull that up. I wonder if I just type in Yoshida, if that'll come up. Let's see. Because that video was hilarious. Oh, right. I forgot you get like these weird, and not weird, but you get these anime things. Yeah, I tried. Sorry, chat. Where were we? But yeah, I did see that. Pretty impressive. Think the Sox should sign more. I'd be down, yeah. I see you're getting close to 5K. You getting nervous about the tattoo? Oh my God, I'm so nervous about the tattoo. I am so nervous about the tattoo. I don't know where I'm gonna get it. I was thinking either like on my calf would make sense, or my arm, or even my like my thigh. One of those areas. We should trade Sedane for a pitcher. Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. Thanks for subbing, Al. Appreciate you. Will the Sox exceed expectations solely due to the pressure being minimized on the team due to the... Yeah, I think they do exceed expectations, yes. Please, I'd love to hear about winter weekend. What do you guys want to hear about? Anything. Like, ask questions and I will answer as best I can. Because I don't even... Like, there's so much in that video. Hey, Corbin, what's the best trade for Barnes, and does Brazier have pictures? The best trade for Barnes would be to get someone with some sort of potential, right? Whether that's a low A prospect, a double A prospect, somewhere around there would be the best case scenario. Who that team is, I'm not sure what the exact trade would look like because, again, there are just so many different trades that you could possibly do. I could see the Mets being involved. I could see... I'm trying to think of teams who have a good team but not a great bullpen. The Diamondbacks are a team that want to up their bullpen a little bit. McGuire and Alfaro, yeah. We do have a lot of starters. What do you think our rotation will be, and who could be moved to the bullpen? I think our starting opening day sort of rotation is going to look something like Sale, Kluber, Pavetta, Whitlock, Bayo. That's what I would do. Veritek's the best clubber in the catcher in that clubhouse. Hey, Corbin, it's Kenny. Hey, Kenny. I don't think the bashing was deserved. Getting dumped on John Henry's a very nice man, and Bloom was fooled about Xander. What do you think? Duran Stacy's homegrown. The bashing on John Henry, I understand. I understand he has not been in the public eye for 3 years, and there's a reason for that. It's because he's a terrible public speaker. He's been at the forefront of a couple of really bad seasons and a couple of moves that were not popular within Red Sox Nation. So I understood the boos for John Henry, and he didn't help himself, right? When he was asked why are ticket prices more expensive now than they've been in the past if you're going to stay below and not spend as much money as you have in the past. YD Steven, thank you for subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate you. And his answer to that question was, it's expensive to buy baseball players, right? Like, come on. You know that was going to go over bad. You know that's why. You knew that was going to happen. So, I don't know. Was Poppy a winter weekend? Yeah, I met David Ortiz. It was insane. What's up, Craig? How you doing? I'm doing good. How do you think guys are going to approach Raphael with no shift? Whew, that's a good question. I think we're gonna see Rafi. Especially, it depends on how the Red Sox play him, right? If they put him in the 2-hole, I think he's gonna get a lot of opportunities to hit. If they put him in the 3-hole, I think there isn't gonna be as much protection around him. And if they put him in the 4-hole, I could see him getting walked a lot. I thought you guys would get Kim. I thought we were going to too. Doesn't look like it. I think we just underperformed last year. Yep. Thoughts on Marcelo Meyer? I think he's going to be a fantastic player. I don't know what his timeline looks like, and I don't know if he's going to be the all-star superstar that we are expecting, but I think he's going to be an everyday good shortstop. Hey, do you see the Red Sox still getting Andres? I could see the Red Sox, especially if they end up trading Matt Barnes. They're going to have about They have about with the signing of Duvall, they had about $6 million for luxury tax room. If they trade Matt Barnes and they can get rid of some of that money, right? They can get it back up to around $10 million. You could probably sign Duvall and stay under the luxury tax, Andrus and stay under the luxury tax. Unfortunate, surprising that they DFA'd Matt Barnes. He got better at the end of last year. If he goes somewhere else, best of luck to him. Totally agree, Austin. Were there any other major crowd moments that weren't shown in videos? Obviously, I was on stage. Heim, I'm trying to think because they didn't show any of the. I didn't watch the Nesson. I just saw the recaps of the Nesson. They cut all of John Henry's speeches, and let me tell you, no one wanted to hear John Henry talk. I mean, he only answered like 3 questions. Sam Kennedy took a lot of them. But the big one that I don't think was shown was the part where he was asked, why are ticket prices so expensive? And his answer was, it's expensive by baseball players. I mean, I thought the crowd was going to storm the stage with pitchforks. Did Trevor Story seem sad and depressed? Some people were saying that. I don't think so. No, I actually think Trevor Story wanted to be there as much as, it probably sucked for him a lot. I think he wanted to be there and wanted to talk and come out here and try and clear some things up as to when he decided to get the surgery, what happened, all that stuff. So, I don't think he didn't not want to be there, but it was definitely a little tough to watch for sure. Do any other MLB teams have winter weekend for their fan base? I know the Blue Jays have something similar. I saw a couple of clips from that, but I don't know about every other fan base. What do you think about Rafaela? When are you going to see him in the majors? I don't know. I think he's going to start the year in AAA, and if he does well and you can kind of see him start to have better plate approaches and less swings and misses, you could see him in the majors this year, but it's sort of up in the air a little bit. How do you think Heim should sort talent in the minors from the guys who will be great from the meh prospects to trade them? How do I think he should do that? The only way to do that is to watch them in the minors. And obviously Heim can't watch everybody. So what he's really got to do is employ the right people. And, so far I think they've done a fairly decent job of being able to scout and get talent, especially when you're talking about Dominican and international free agent signings. So I think that's at the end of the day, that's how you evaluate these prospects. Winter weekend, did the front office win over many people in the audience? Jack, no. No. No, I think it made it worse. Let me see. Sorry if I missed it, but remind me who signed your hat. That would be Jared Saltalamacchia. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Thank you. Is Dahlbeck going to have a redemption tour? I don't think he'll get enough playing time to do that. No. You don't really buy players, you rent them. Yeah. What bench piece do I see the Red Sox signing? I could see them going after a Josh Harrison, right? Or a Jerickson Profar. I could see those two. What do you think the future would be for Winkowski and Cutter Crawford? Keep them and see if they grow. I would trade Winkowski. I would keep Cutter Crawford. Zach Britton could be a move for sure. Devers needs to hit third and help protect the hitter in the 2-hole and see more fastballs. I think he should hit second, man. Did you meet Carabas? I did, yeah. We did a full interview. If you want to check that out, it's on the vlog. I met him. Super nice guy. Do any Red Sox people recognize you? Outside of Jared, who did actually know who I was, no. No, there were no Red Sox players going, hey, that's Red Sea Radio. That didn't happen. There were a lot of people who came up to me and wanted to talk about the channel, wanted to talk baseball, wanted to take pictures, though. That was incredible. Let me tell you, that was absolutely insane. What do you think would be the best free agency move at this point? I think it would be Josh Harrison, just because he can play both shortstop and second base. He could be a depth piece for us. I think Profar wouldn't be a bad idea, and honestly, walk on a 1-year deal wouldn't be a bad idea either. Where do I think Michael Wacha's headed? I think Michael Wacha's headed to the Orioles. Who's most likely going to get called up for August call-ups? Jeez. Brian Maeda, Murphy. I forget his first name. Is it Walter, Rafaela? Those are all. Jack, that would be absolutely incredible. I think it depends on his preseason. Rafaela might make it out of the spring if he looks good and Duran doesn't. I don't know. The good news with Rafael is you're getting elite defense, so there is that, right? There is that possibility as well. So maybe, yeah. I mean, maybe. It would have to be... obviously, he hasn't played any time in AA yet, so there's the chance that happens too. Pedroia will be in the Hall of Fame ballot next year. Do you think he deserves to get in? I think it'll be close, honestly. Problem is he had so many injuries. If Pedroia played out his full career, he's a definite Hall of Famer. I don't know if he is with his injuries. We need Hirokazu Sawamura. Heim, don't speak that into existence. I saw Heim in the casino and got a picture. That's awesome. Devers should bat second. Yeah, I think so too. Can I do a Tristan Casas home run prediction? I think he ends up over 25. What do you think about Luke Voigt? Do you think the Red Sox will pursue him? No, I think because Adam Duvall can play first base, because we haven't traded Dahlbeck or gotten rid of Dahlbeck, and because Justin Turner literally said in his press conference that the Red Sox told him he'd be playing first base, that's already 3 first base options as well as 3 DH options. I don't think Luke Voigt has a spot in this team. Harrison can't play shortstop anymore. Yeah, maybe, but he's also middle infield depth, right? I'm not saying Harrison should be the starter on the Boston Red Sox. I think that is end of day going to be Kike and Christian Arroyo at this point, but he could fill in, and so that's sort of what I'm thinking here. Whit Merrifield would be nice. Former Mondesi teammate, can do second base, outfield. I don't think the Blue Jays are interested in trading him to us. Ugh. There's bound to be a major injury or two throughout the season. Always happens. Chris Sale Strange's pinky toe in May is out for 3 months. Costas misses 50 games with nagging hamstring issues. I mean, you're probably right. There is probably going to be some injuries at some point. It's a 162-game season. It's going to happen. That's why I keep saying, you need to keep building up the depth. That's what you got to keep doing. And they're not going to be flashy signings. It's not going to be anything crazy. But if you can that's why you sign guys like Tapia, Alfaro. That's why you sign those type of guys, because there are going to be injuries at some point this offseason, or this season in general. Do you think Atlanta would trade Jesse Chavez for Matt Barnes? I don't know a ton about Jesse Chavez, honestly, Sam, but if he's a lower level prospect, yeah. Hello from Bronx, New York? I don't know. Am I saying hello from Bronx, New York? No, I'm in Massachusetts. When are we supposed to see Nick York? Speaking of New York, Nick York is projected. I think MLB has him projected. Actually, you know what? I like Sox prospects better anyways. What do they have him projected at? It's going to be a while. They got mid-2024. I would say even later than that. I would say Nick York with his injury, 2025. I could see Marcelo Meyer maybe making his debut at the end of 2024, but he'd have to have a crazy double A if he ends up in double A this year. He would have to have a crazy year. Next year, winter weekend, you'll be much widely recognized by Sox players and fans. Man, I hope so. Profar could play shortstop. If we signed him, we could put him there and Kike at second until Story returns. What do you think of that? I still think Kike ends up as an everyday second or shortstop, but not every day as in he's going to play every single game at shortstop. He's going to be the majority of games at shortstop. I think the plan, in my opinion, right now is we're going to sign more infield depth than we know what to do with, and we're just going to, move him in and out. I got a Heimblum auto in the MGM hallway. That's pretty cool. Thoughts on Chad Pinder or Brian Anderson? I think both of those guys are a little bit aged out, but I don't know. Borderline Hall of Fame candidates. Borderline Hall of Fame candidates have a better chance of getting in if they have a warm, media-friendly personality. Might be good news for Dustin. Might be not. I mean, some people loved him in the media. Some people didn't. What's up, Pac-Man? Yes, John, that is 100% correct. He is terrible in the public eye. Do you see the Red Sox signing Zach Britton? Maybe. Why would anyone trade for Barnes when they could just wait a week and pick him up off of waivers instead? It depends on the demand, right? If the Red Sox somehow are able to convince other teams that there are teams willing to trade for him before he gets to the waivers, I think they could pull it off. No, I said hello from Bronx, New York. Man, you are in enemy territory. I love it. What's up, Retro? Can Mondesi defend? Yeah, he's a really good defender. Yes. Why didn't Bloom sign Waka? He was the best starting pitcher last year. There has to be injury concerns. Has to be. Trade Verdugo? Question mark. I don't think they're gonna try to. No. No, I don't think they're gonna try to. Record prediction for the Sox this year, I think 81 and 81. I could see there being a little 85, 86 win season. I think they surprise a lot of people. One of the things that really stood out to me in one of the things that really stood out to me in one of the things that really stood out to me over winter weekend was the fact that this team truly is one of the most chemistry bound teams I've ever seen. Like they know each other, they have fun together, they respect each other, and every single one of them, when talking to anyone about anything, was talking about the expectations put on this team. You could tell that this team has a chip on its shoulder. There are so many guys. I mean, when you think about it, right? Story's obviously not going to be back for a full year, but Story, Whitlock, Houck, Sale. You've got Devers, who was injured. You had Arroyo, who was injured. You had Kike, who was injured. You had Doogie, who had a bad first half and finished off really strong. You've got all of these guys, essentially our entire starting lineup. Then you throw in Duvall, who's coming back from injury, who feels healthy and ready to go and wants to play for a bigger contract. You have Yoshida, who wants to prove he can play in the MLB. I mean, these guys all have chips on their shoulders for different reasons, and that's a big thing that brings people together. Not to mention you've got guys like Bayo and Costas who want to prove that they can play in the MLB. There's a lot to be said about that. JBJ return? I don't think so. With the injury to Trevor Story, do you agree that Kike is our second best player? If he has a good year, then the team will look decent. Kike is our second. I think Kike is in the mix. I think it kind of depends on what our rookies look like, honestly. And Yoshida, who I technically think is a rookie. Can you see Verdugo sign a 3-year, $30 million contract? No, I don't think so. Yeah, TJ, I'd say right around that. Yeah. Then put Mondesi at shortstop. I don't know, man. Bloom loves the bargain basement. I don't know if it's time Bloom's doing. Are you glad they got Mondesi instead of overpaying for Kim? I am. Yes. No one else signing Waka doesn't really create urgency to get him right now. Yeah, I agree with you, CL. Or CW. Yeah. There's a reason Waka has not been, and there's a reason you haven't seen anything about Waka. That's more important to me, right? The literal only tidbit of information we got is that the Orioles may be interested in Michael Waka. That's it, and that was like a month ago. We've heard nothing. My guess is that either Michael Waka had this big year, peripherals don't look great, and he wants a multi-year deal, and teams are like, we'll give you a 1 year with a mutual option at the second year, right? Something like that. Or he has some injury issues, which makes sense. I mean, he got that dead arm at one point, right? He got that dead arm at one point, so it could be that as well. I don't know. What's the best role? What's the best role for Tanner Houck going forward, in your opinion? Hold on, I set up an ad. I think the best possible role for Michael Wacha right now, or Tanner Houck right now, is in the bullpen. Who do I like better as a left-handed pitcher, Chafin or Hand? Chafin. But I'm a Red Sox fan, no Yankees. Yeah, I figured. with the what is that, ALCS 2022 profile picture? Do you think Duvall can hit more than 25 or more home runs? Yes, for sure. The Boston Red vibes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay, then what would be a successful 2023 season? Yeah, I think a wild card spot would be successful. I think I honestly think a winning season would be successful. What cards are on the shelves behind you? Man, I got a ton. These are my holy grail. Hold on. These are my holy grail cards. This is that's Devers autograph card. That's a Ted Williams 1958 card. And then that's a dual Marcelo Meyer and Tristan Casas autograph card. And then you sort of go down a level. RIP, I have a Xander autograph. Doogie, Tanner Houck, Kevin Youkilis is somewhere in here. Trevor Story's somewhere in here. Nick York's in there. And then bottom tier, we got another Houck one, a couple of Bobbies, a Benintendi, JD Martinez is in there, Garrett Whitlock's in there, and Connor Siebold's in there. I agree with you, T. Sid. Yeah, I have a lot of faith in Alex Cora with this team this year. Maybe Wacha is a bad clubhouse guy. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I mean, people seem to really enjoy him. I don't know if that's going to happen. Since 2021, do you think our bullpens has gotten better or worse? I think it got worse in 2022 and better in 2023. Turner has a lot of potential based on the second half last year. Yeah, and he's got a pretty and he's got he's had a pretty good career too. So any chance they roll out a 6-man rotation? I would love it if they brought in a 6-man rotation. I don't know. I would love it, but I don't think they're gonna. They've said publicly they don't want to do it, so I don't know. They traded Josh Taylor for shortstop Mondesi from the Royals, so Hernandez is not the starting shortstop. No, they're not gonna play Mondesi every day at shortstop. They already said that. Where do you see this team finishing in the standings? I think best case scenario, they end up in third place and snag a wild card spot. Worst case scenario, they're in the basement again. It all really depends, right? I think the average there is fourth place. But again, you're in the toughest division in baseball, so it could go either way. Somewhere in between third and fifth place, I see it. What do you think? Sale, Bayo, Kluber, Pivetta, Whitlock, record, and ERA predictions? Woof. I'll just do ERA because record's really hard to predict. I would say Sale has below a 4 ERA, but slightly like a 3.7. I think Bayo is in that area too. I think Kluber is going to be like a 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, 4.5. I would say 4.5 for Kluber. Pivetta, I would say 4.2, 4.3. Whitlock, I'm hoping, is like a 3.6, 3.5 ERA. Really impressive card collection. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jay. Do I have an Ortiz? I have an Ortiz short print. It's like the one of him going like this when he's giving his speech, but I don't have an autograph Ortiz. No, that's my next goal. Actually, my next goal is a rookie autographed Rafael Devers, but after he signed that extension, the prices spiked. Okay, I have a question for the chat. Assemble baseball team. Oh, man, have fun with that one, chat. Whitlock or Houck? I think Whitlock overall is the better pitcher. With Sale and Pax, I could see them starting with a 6-man, but after the first month, it'll go back to a 5. I don't know. Do I think Volpe starts shortstop for Yankees this year at all? Yeah, I think he does. I think he gets in there at some point. What if in the future we deal Doogie and McGuire for Luis Robert? As much as I love Verdugo, too many lefters with Myers coming up and Casas, Yoshida, and Devers being the future. I don't know if it's going to be that little. Luis Robert has a ton of potential, right? So I don't know if it'll be that little, but I could see the Red Sox looking into it at least. Will this be the best on base percentage team and stolen base team in the AL? I don't know about stolen base, but yeah, I could see on base percentage for sure. There are a lot of guys on this team that could have a really big percentage. Okay, so my iPad's dying, chat. We're gonna have to do it the old school way and just look at chat this way. Where was I? What do you think of our farm system? I think it's really good right now. I think we got a lot of pieces. The problem with our farm system right now is that all of our pieces are young, right? So we'll see. How many pitchers will the Red Sox have on the roster? I think they'll end up with 6 starters, and then let me think, 9 or 8, and then 4, 12. I think they do 13 pitchers. Tanner Houck is a prototypical pitcher? No, that's just not true. He had one of the best sliders in all baseball last year. Bloom is making absolutely no sense. He designates Matt Barnes. He trades Josh Taylor. Well, in all fairness, Josh Taylor was a mystery, right? He was a giant question mark. There are a lot of really great relievers left on the market in terms of lefties, at least consistency-wise, and a guy where we know what we're going to get out of. So, I don't think trading Josh Taylor is something where it's going to be like, whoa, what is behind Bloom doing? He didn't play last year, so... What do you think Bloom will make? Do you think Bloom will make any more moves to the bullpen? Yeah, for sure. I think we get another lefty in here. Yeah, I see what you mean, Johnny. Didn't they just make a comment saying they like Brazier's advanced stats? Yeah, they did. Yeah. Who do you think will be our 3 most reliable relief pitchers? I think Kenley's going to be a reliable relief pitcher. Excuse me. I think Houck's going to be a reliable relief pitcher. And I think Schreiber comes back and has a great year. Farm is lopsided. Yeah. Farm is lopsided with young talent. Yes. Barnes going unclaimed with that contract. I don't know, though. I don't know. Brazier has to have dirt to be still around. Someone else is asking that too. Yeah, Liam, why do you think we DFA'd Barnes over Brazier? I think the idea behind DFAing Barnes was that they were going to be able to trade him and not have to eat a lot of that contract. I think the other one too is that I think the other reason too is that, and they've said it publicly, that the Red Sox really like Brazier's advanced statistics. So that's the biggest reason. Big question. Will Ryan Brazier have a good year and repay all the confidence being shown in him? I mean, we looked at it, right? We looked at the fact that he has such a low FIP compared to his ERA, which to me leads me to believe that there is a good chance that Ryan Brazier is much better next year than he was this year. I mean, look, like 3.61 FIP compared to a 5.78 ERA means he got a lot of bad luck last year. A lot of bad luck. Now the other thing too here is that, his hits per 9 was up compared to the rest of his season, right? His walks per 9 was good. His strikeouts per 9 was right around average. So, I mean, if he can, it's clear that he had a lot of bloop hits and stuff like that kind of land in. So, you know what? Maybe they're right. Maybe there is something here with Brazier. I mean, you got a 2.17 difference between Brazier's ERA and his FIP, which is essentially his expected ERA, right? So there is a big difference between that, which you know, maybe they're onto something. I don't know. What do we do with Rafaela? Have a good one, Mike. Thanks for stopping by, man. You know, I think at this point you let Rafaela ride. There's nothing really to do. I mean, clearly you're not going to be able to trade him without giving up more. Yoshida will hit. I was just trying to read your message, Josh. You deleted it. Prediction: Yoshida will hit 50 doubles, with many of them being off the monster. I could see that for sure. Devers is our cold killer. Will we have a Rodon killer? Yeah, Christian Arroyo. Chafin would save the offseason for me. Chafin would be a great pickup. Do you think Bayo is going to be the future? And why not bring Waka back? He was solid all year. I think there's an issue with Waka's health, would be my guess. And yes, I think Brian Bayo is going to be one of our best pitchers in a long time. An interesting aspect of our pitching rotation that both Paxton and Houck could fill almost any roles. Yeah, I don't think they'll need to be closers or setup man. I think they're excuse me, hold on. I think that Paxton and Houck are either going to be starters or long relievers, and it could flip flop between the two of them. Ideally, right? My idea here is you have Paxton in the starting rotation, or you have him in the bullpen, and you have Whitlock or Houck piggyback Sale or Paxton. I think that would be a great idea. Prodigy, I don't think we know the exact what's going to happen with Paxton yet. Whitlock needs to stay in the pen. We did not learn from Papelbon back in the day. I don't remember Papelbon ever being a starter. Tanner's 26 years old, 6'5", a strong arm that bodes well for longevity. Brazier's fastball may as well be a pinata. Just give me Dave Dombrowski back. Sure, if you want to be in the basement for the next 5 years after winning one World Series. Bobby Dahlbeck has to get dealt, right? Major League roster seems full. It would make the most sense, yeah. I don't think they're going to have him stick around. Breaking: Red Sox are signing Matt Moore on a 1-year, $2 million deal. Man, would that be ideal, huh? Arroyo is the key to this year. Yeah, I think so. I don't know where you're getting this. I don't know, John. I don't know where you're getting repair the bullpen, not tear it apart. They literally made their bullpen much better. So, you know, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Hoping that Bloom can use some of those bridge years to draft pitchers high in the draft. Yeah, it would be nice. I feel like our team will be sneaky good. Like, if the boys get hot, we'll pop off. I think the key to... I think the key to the Red Sox season this year is getting off to a hot start. It has to be. It has to be. You can't start that low again. Do you think the Red Sox should bring back Dave Dombrowski? The problem with Dave Dombrowski, and not that I don't think Dave Dombrowski is a good general manager, because I think he's very good at what he does, right? The reason he's brought in to a place to be the general manager is to win World Series. That's what he comes in, he wins a World Series, but what he doesn't do, right, is focus on longevity. He doesn't focus on winning past a World Series, and he doesn't like setting places up for success. And again, that's not a bad thing at all. That's not right. If you want to win a World Series, that's exactly what you need to do. But if you want to be, you know, like a Dodgers or a Houston Astros, that stuff takes time. And Dave Dombrowski is a guy who's not going to give you time. And again, I loved what Dave Dombrowski did in 2018. He truly did win us a World Series. But I as a long-term option, I don't love it. in your opinion on how Yoshida will do this year, I think Yoshida will have a smoother transition to Major League Baseball than we may expect. I think because of his awareness of the strike zone and his ability to take walks and his ability to identify pitches he wants to hit, I think we're going to see a smoother transition. I could see like in the 270 range with 15 home runs and a pretty high on base percentage. Watching the stream instead of doing math, oof. Don't blame me when you're failing tests. They should put Pavetta in the pen. I don't know if that'll work out. Paxton's a relief pitcher this day. We'll see. I don't blame anything on Henry. You got to blame at least something on Henry. The pen is on the up and up. Yeah. I'm a big sports fan. I like the Bills, Sabres. I'm a big Red Sox fan. Do you think we will win our division? How many saves will a closer have this year? I don't think we'll win our division, no. Our closer in terms of saves, Kenley had what, like 60-something saves last year? What did he have? He had an insane amount of saves. He had 54 saves last year. I would be happy with... Is that right? Yeah, that is right. I would be happy with... Oh, no, he had 41 saves last year. Sorry, Chad. I'd be happy with 35 saves. I mean, think about that. Think about how much of a difference 35 saves last year makes. If we had 35 saves last year from one person, we would be a playoff contending team. What's up, Darby? Any thoughts on the Red Sox signing T. Bauer? I do not want Trevor Bauer on this team. Who do you think will be our most consistent hitters? Devers, Verdugo, and Yoshida. Who do you think our fifth starter will be? Fifth. Brian Bayo. Do you think Marcelo, Meyer, York, or Blaze will be in AAA by the end of the year? No. Will Sale be an ace the whole season? No. I don't. I think sports media are down on this team because they don't know how to talk about them yet. It's easier to say the Red Sox are losers this offseason than comprehensively analyzing these players. It's a really good thought, Nunez. Truly, that's a really good thought. If they fire Bloom, who should be their new GM? Big Donkey YouTube, thank you for subscribing, man. I appreciate you. Sam, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think they could just go and steal any. I don't think they're just gonna go and steal a random GM. So I have no idea. I totally agree on the need for a solid start to the season. The schedule for April is really encouraging. What does the schedule for April look like? Let me see. What do we got? All right, so we're playing Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Tampa Bay, the Angels, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Baltimore, and then Cleveland. I mean, that's not a bad start to a season, chat. That's not a bad start to the season at all. I think what I'm going to try and do, Chad, is we're going to go live for opening day, I think. I'm going to try to. I think the true test within that first month will be Milwaukee and Tampa Bay. Cleveland too. I mean, I'd say half and half right now. If you could break even in March, and then in April, April is a really tough schedule. Good Lord. Okay, you need to go into May with a winning record, because in May you start off with the Toronto, who just for some reason absolutely owns us, right? Philly got better this offseason. Atlanta, who's a powerhouse. Seattle, St. Louis, who's really good. Seattle, San Diego, RIP. The Angels again. Arizona, who, and the Cincinnati's a wash. This is going to be a tough month. And then June's not much easier. It's a tough schedule this year because you're playing everybody. July is not too bad. You get Texas, then Oakland twice, and the Cubs. The Mets will be tough, but Atlanta again. San Francisco did not get better. So July and April or March, you really need to do something there. Series and Yankee fans would just be stunned, and all they would say is 27 rings. Who has a better chance to be Rookie of the Year, Casas or Yoshida? I'm gonna go Casas. I really like Casas's attitude and stuff. I don't remember when, but we have a stretch of like 21 games without a day off at one point. That'll be an important run. Looks like it is. Looks like it starts with Cincinnati. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's 2 weeks right there straight. That might be the one you're talking about. Opening day stream would be wonderful. I know. Late August is hell. Yeah. Yankees, Houston, LA, Houston. Woo. May look tough, like you could get going in April, but got to keep it up in May. Yeah, I agree. I just don't want to finish last. It's hard to troll Yankee fans from last place. True. Who do you think they'll make the opening day roster for the Red Sox? I think, the roster looks pretty much what it looks like right now. The Red Sox should improve by 3 or 4 wins with the balanced schedule only. Yeah, I agree. I think just simply not playing the AL East as much is going to immediately give us 3 or 4 more wins. I totally agree with that, yeah. Philly has no Harper, true, but they still have a good team. You can really see the consequences of playing every team, yeah. Who is the most improved player this year? That's a good question. I think Whitlock. And the reason I think Whitlock is because I think he ends up being a really productive starting pitcher. Who do you think the Red Sox will sign next winter? That is good. I haven't even thought that far ahead yet. Let's play a game of stats. I think Yoshida will have 17 home runs, 285 batting average. How about you? I think he goes 15 home runs, 275. I know this sounds crazy, but I am watching. Here's a feeling they will come alive. You think Kansas City will come alive? I would be shocked. But hey, if you're right, I'll give you all the props in the world. I'd rather watch you than regular television. Thanks, man. Big Sox fan. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Should the Red Sox go after power hitter MJ Melendez from Kansas? I don't know where he fits in. He's not a fantastic outfielder. He is a catcher, so maybe use him at catcher. It would be really interesting. I think it'd be fun. Trader keep Zach Kelly. Keep Zach Kelly. I like Nunez's take on analyzing this team. Can't wait to see what Cora can do. Will this team... Yes, I totally agree with you, O'Brien. The season's going to be so much better with everyone playing each other. Been a long-time Sox fan. It was a tragedy that we never saw Aaron, Mays, Seaver. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really cool idea. Thoughts on the Yankees next season? I think the Yankees will be good. But I think too, they're very fragile. Aaron Judge or Stanton goes down. Their lineup's not that deep. Am I the only person excited about Kluber? No, I really like Kluber. Will you live stream some Sox games during the season? Yeah. So last season, man, what were we at sub-wise? Between 1,000 and 2,000, somewhere in there. For those of you who are new, yeah, so once I start, in the offseason, I do a live stream every 2 weeks, right? During the season, I do a live stream every single Wednesday at the start of each game. That's why we start these live streams around 7 p.m. We'll keep doing that throughout the season, but it'll be weekly. I cannot physically show you guys the game, so what we've done during the regular season, during the so what we do is on one screen I'll have the game, on the other screen I'll have you guys, and then you guys just do the same thing with me, and it's like we're hanging out watching the game together. So that's usually what we do during the season for those of you who are new, and that's probably what we're gonna do. That's probably what we're gonna do this season. And I'm also reworking our I'm also going to redo our membership levels here. We were talking about it with the current members of this channel. So there could be some more interesting things coming here for live streams and stuff like that. So keep an eye out on that. The Astros are going to be hard to beat. Yeah, they are going to be hard to beat. Who's going to Fenway for the Yankees in June? I'll probably be at the... Thank you, Roman, for subscribing to the channel, man. I appreciate you. I'll probably be at a couple of Yankee games this year. You're clearly a Heim the Doom Bloom fan. I'm not... Listen, John, I'm not a fan of a GM. I'm a fan of the Red Sox. Right. One of the things that I think has kind of been lost in the translation here with in between the Heim Bloom haters and the Heim Bloom lovers is, guys, we're not rooting for the GM. We're rooting for the Boston Red Sox. So I'm not going to look at Heim Bloom's as a fan or not a fan. I'm going to look at it as how it affects the Boston Red Sox. He's done some good things. He's done some bad things. He's dead in the middle right now. It depends on this 2023 season. Right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to be a guy who wants a lower payroll. I'm none of that. To be honest with you, I wish it didn't exist because all I want to do is talk about baseball and the actual moves itself, whether or not it's good or bad for this team. I'm getting a little frustrated with you're either a Bloom hater or a Bloom lover. No. Everyone should be down the middle, focused on how the moves affects the Boston Red Sox as opposed to I don't like the person running the team. My audio's cutting out. Can you guys hear me okay? Where do I get... and the second part of that question, John, where do you get your information from? I get it from as many sources as I possibly can. I look at, I try to look at things from the angles of people who hate the move, from the people who love the move, and the people who are down the middle to try and get every angle of this. Audio's okay? Okay. I don't think so, Quentin. I think they'll look internally for a manager. Your Ted Williams jersey arrived today? That's awesome. Do you think that one catcher we picked up could take the spot over Juan? Yes, I do. It depends on how he does in spring training, though. Who do you have for the 5 stars of the Red Sox? Sale, not in any particular order. Sale, Kluber, Paxton, Pivetta. Oh man, no. Sale, Kluber, Pivetta, Whitlock, Bayo. Who do you think will be the most surprising player positively or negatively? I think the most surprising player positively will be Christian Arroyo. Negatively, I don't want anyone to impact the team negatively. I think Mondesi could be someone that surprises us negatively. Corbin, I'm going to the game in Yankee Stadium in June. I'm going to get some autographs right behind the Red Sox dugout, row 3. Who should I get an autograph from? Get an autograph from Tristan Casas. Who do you think the Red Sox will sign next winter that is good? I haven't thought that far ahead. Which player do you estimate will contribute the most this year? I mean, if you're talking pure WAR, it's Rafael Devers. But if you're talking surprise, I think Yoshida surprised a lot of people. Who autographed my hat? Jared Saltalamacchia. Making a huge profit? Yeah, you talking about me on this channel? No. No, I do this for the love of it. Yeah, Ben. I'll tell you what. If there's any point in this season where I was truly down on Heim Bloom, is when we heard the talks about Devers expecting to go to free agency. Yes, Yordi. Yes. It's not that I love Heim Bloom. I could care less about. Not that as a person, obviously, I care about Heim Bloom as a person, but I'm saying I could care less about whether or not I like him or not like him. I want him to do well, and I'm rooting for him because it means the success of the Boston Red Sox. Yes. Takes in the Blue Jays, shortening the outfield. Center moves in. I think, Eamon, I think they're gonna hit a lot more home runs. A lot more. Brian Maeda might be good. I could see it. I'm very interested in seeing whether Reese McGuire will solidify and capture the starting catcher role. I think he's a well-rounded ball player. I think McGuire is a guy in line to be a sort of to be a surprise. Yeah. Just subscribe. You're the quickest to report Red Sox news. Appreciate it, Mike. Yeah, I try to. Do I recommend Winter Weekend? Is it worth the cost? If you were a diehard Red Sox fan, yes. Yes, it is worth the cost. It's honestly not too bad. I mean, the tickets were about $100 each for the 2 full days. It wasn't just, the Friday was from. We got to the venue at 4:30. We left around 9:30, and then Saturday we got there at like 9:30 and left around like 4. It's a full day. I love it. Yeah, I loved it. I will be going every year. I know this will never happen, but the Mondesi trade kind of removes leverage from San Diego over Hassan Kim. No longer desperate to overpay for him. I don't think San Diego. Well, here's the problem: is San Diego knows the Red Sox would use him as a starter and could really use him as a starter. So even with the Mondesi trade, I don't think so. I think they're still going to ask for a lot. Yeah, versatility. I think that's the biggest problem. Yes. With the news on Casas wanting an extension, do you see the Red Sox doing it? And if so, when? I think they'll try. I think they'll try. Yeah. Um, I think it's not going to be for another year though. I think they want to see what he looks like in a full season before they even think about that. Keep up the good work. Just tuned in. Thank you, Church. I appreciate it. Never thought about podcasting. I did. Yeah. When I was first starting the channel, actually, I almost made Red Seat Radio. And that's the reason it's called Red Seat Radio, is because I was going to start it as a podcast. But then I realized, listen, everyone's got a podcast, right? And one of the things I didn't love about the idea of, excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping so much today. One of the things when I was looking at podcasts is A, there are a ton. B, they're long form, right? So, and a lot of these, especially the bigger Red Sox podcasts, when you're talking about like the Sox Prospect podcast, when you're talking about the Fenway Rundown, when you're talking about Carabas's, Peralt's, right? There are a ton of them, A, and B, these guys have been established for a long time. Who would want to listen? And obviously, you guys may have a different opinion on listening to me talk for an hour now. But when I was first starting out, who wants to listen to me talk for an hour when I'm not a credentialed beat writer, when I haven't proven that I know the Red Sox really well, right? So I figured, hey, let's throw the YouTube channel up. Let's make 8-10 minute videos, quick little snippets, so you guys can just get the news and get out, right? You don't need to sit there for 40 minutes, listen to me blab about listen to me blab about what I watched on TV just to fill time and make it a longer episode. And the more I did YouTube, the more I realized this is so much more interactive than just doing a once a week podcast. And that's what I love most about it, is I can do these live streams. I can do all this stuff. And I can talk to you guys. And that's not something you can do with a podcast. So you know what, maybe in the future, if the opportunity comes around, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But for now, we'll see. I'm going to put another ad in here, chat, because I got to take a drink of water. Do you think that guy that they picked up from Toronto could be on the bench this year and take Jared Durant's spot? Yeah, I think they're going to kind of battle it out this spring training. That'll be an interesting thing to watch. Darby Duffin, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Welcome. Wong or Alfaro for number 2 catcher. I think it ends up going to Wong, but that's going to be a really interesting one. I would have fainted if I came face-to-face with David Ortiz. I was lightheaded, let me tell you. The only thing that came to my mind when I shook his hand was my mom's going to be so mad she's not here right now. And so that's what I said. I don't know if you caught that in the video. I said that, he laughed, and then we took a picture. But, I was shaking for a while after that. Outside of Devers, who do you think will be the Red Sox MVP for the year? I think MVP for the year is a hard one. I think Kike has a shot at it, especially if it's a good year at shortstop. In my opinion, I think that Jorge Alfaro or Adalberto, maybe even Narcisco Crook, if he gets on the team, I don't know who that is, could really have a breakout season or at least a good season. What's your take? Yeah, I think Adalberto specifically, if he stays healthy and can get playing time here, yeah. Ryan Brazier going to be good this year? I guess we'll see. I agree with you, Jack, yes. Given that injury shortened Dustin Pedroia's career, do you think he could be a dark horse candidate for Cooperstown? Via Veterans Committee? Yes. Via Veterans Committee? Yeah. Is Michael Wacha signing back with the Red Sox? I don't know. I think we should have picked up Iglesias again rather than Mondesi. What do you think? I think they could still do both. It's not bad to have both. Gonna go to bed. Have a good night. All right, Ethan. Thanks for stopping by, man. Always a good time to see you. Dear Lord, that ad scared me. Sorry. Does Tapia make the roster? I don't know. I think Tapia has a good chance, yeah. I remain positive about the Red Sox. They weren't supposed to win in 2004, and they did. So I wait to the end of August, see where they are. It's a good mindset to have. I could talk Red Sox forever. I could troll Yankee fans for longer. The interactive part is why I like this channel better than any other Red Sox media. First of all, thank you, Gord. Second of all, I totally agree. I love the I love being able to interact with you guys more than anything. Because this is what I wanted to do when I started the channel, was just talk baseball with people. What does Duran need to do to become an everyday player? Is it his batting or fielding that need more work? Both. I would focus on fielding. Although again, if the Red Sox decide, hey, maybe we'll play him at shortstop. Maybe we'll play not shortstop. Sorry, maybe we'll play him at second base where he's went through the minors playing and he knows what to do. Maybe it works out. I don't know. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your optimism level for this season? That's a good question. I would say it's tough right now. I would say a 6.5. Hey, Corbin, greetings from Manchester, Connecticut. Hope all is well. Just tell me our GM didn't give anybody else away. I'm really bummed about Barnes. We have no more DFAs recently. I think bettering up the bullpen added 5 wins. We winning 89 games and making the wild cards. Facts. Yeah, I could. You know what? I could see. I could see. The 85 to 89 win range, if everything goes right. Yeah. What's up with Hernandez, our catcher? Is he a bust? He's just not good defensively. When Story comes back, who's going to play second or shortstop? That's the only thing that's bugging me. I think Story comes back at second base, and I think Arroyo and Kike split time at shortstop. Do I think Mondesi can play 100 or close to 100 games this year? No. I think Mondesi will play 60 to 70 games as sort of a replacement level player on the bench. Who will be the Red Sox defensive player of the year? I think that'll end up being Tristan Casas. Offensive Player of the Year, Rafael Devers. Pitcher of the Year, I'm gonna go Chris Sale. I think Joel will be part of this bullpen toxin for sure. As for where he is on the team, I think he's our setup left-handed guy. I think he starts as sort of a middle relief left-handed guy and moves into a setup role, depending on how he does. Everyone wants a ton of bench guys, but you only get one catcher and 3 bench guys. And Mondesi Arroyo will probably be one, and probably Dahlbeck. So you can't have a ton of you can't have a 15-man bench. So I think Ryan Sheriff has a shot at making the team. Yeah. Thanks, Eric. Duran clearly not a natural outfielder. No. I live in Newark, New Jersey. It's hard being a Red Sox fan down here. People don't take kindly to Red Sox fans down here. I'm sorry to hear that, and you always got here to be. Thanks for the reminder that it was Tapia who hit the inside the park when Duran threw his... Yeah, that was Tapia. You ready for spring training, Corbin? Yeah, I'm here for it. You think Bayo's going to be pitcher of the year? That's a good one. What do you think of the bullpen? This team clearly has holes, but I think the group they've got coming in for relief will be a lot better. Yes. And I don't even know if it's then expected. I think they're going to be better. Yes. Yes. We did so much to the bullpen that were good moves. And here's the most interesting part about this. All of the big bullpen moves came before Xander Bogaerts signed with the Padres, which to me indicated, right, you don't sign a aging closer and an aging setup guy to 1-year deals if you aren't planning on competing. So my guess as to what happened this Red Sox offseason is they truly did think they were going to get Xander Bogaerts back. And when he got that ridiculous offer and he took that ridiculous offer, they pivoted. They pivoted hard. They realized, okay, without Xander, it's not going to be worth it to fully commit to another shortstop. Carlos Correa had the injuries, which I don't know if they knew about or not. Dansby Swanson wasn't at that level, and Trey Turner was already signed, right? So if you're not going to have that shortstop, you're going to be significantly worse at the plate. Without Xander Bogaerts. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, let's pivot and let's try and figure it out. But the fact that they made those bullpen moves early is a good sign for me. AAA or AA better for the Sox this year? AA. David Hamilton shortstop until Myers brought up? Probably not. What's my prediction for the Red Sox record this year? I'm going to say 87 wins. Any chance Marcelo Myers ready for September call-ups? Not a chance. We need a defense to be legit for Bayo. Do have a good year? I think our defense will be okay. I wonder if Brian Matta is really going to contribute at the major league level. Sure would be a plus. And I do wish they would re-sign Michael Wacha. I'm surprised no one has signed him yet. Yeah. Brian Matta, I think it will be a really solid relief arm option in when September call-ups come. Shortstop Edwin Diaz, AAA probably. Do I collect baseball cards? Yeah, I got a few. What's up, Jay Big Boy? If the Sox are in contention by the trade deadline, what should they do? That's an interesting question. I think that would really depend on what our pitching looks like. If our pitching is the reason we are in contention, then you go and you get a big bat. But if we're in contention because our offense is doing really well and our pitching is at a lot of injuries, you go out and you get a really solid pitcher. That's obviously that's kind of a no crap Corbin. Obviously that's what you do. But realistically that's what you have to do. Sorry, I keep getting Twitter notifications thinking that something happening. It's not. Definitely a pivot moment after Xander. You'd like to think that they had a clear plan B in place and didn't have to panic. And I think they did have a plan in place, and their plan was to buckle down and stay under the luxury tax. If we got a good future, I'm signing with the Sox, just making the postseason so I can watch playoff games with the boys. Yeah, I know. I want a playoff game live stream so bad. I think that would be electric. What's my favorite card behind me? It's the Ted Williams right here. My dad got it. My dad got it for me for Christmas, and I've been wanting that card for a very long time. Will Rafaela be the everyday center fielder by midseason? I don't think so. No. I think he'll be a bench option maybe by midseason. Realistically, I think he gets his first taste of the big leagues at the September call-ups, but I don't know. He could really impress in spring training. I mean, Rafael is a very, very, very talented player. But I think the Red Sox really, I know the Red Sox really value AAA time, so I think that's going to be a big reason why he's in AAA for a while. I'm not forgetting about Justin Turner. No, Migo. I think Turner will be great in Fenway. Can we still sign people from Japan? I don't know, honestly. How long have you been a Red Sox fan, Corbin, and how did it come to be? My grandfather influenced me. I've been a Red Sox. The first time I remember genuinely cheering for the Red Sox was in 2004. And while I don't remember the actual games very well, I remember 2004, and it was because my father loves baseball. My dad loves the game, right? But he grew up in near Albany, New York. So he grew up a Yankee fan. My mom was the diehard Red Sox fan. So yeah, it was my mom who got me into it. I would assume, so I would say right around 6 years old. Good trade options for the Sox. I think the Red Sox, trade wise, I don't know if there's a ton left. I don't know if there's a ton left trade-wise. I think you could maybe trade for another middle infielder, but it might not be worth it if you can sign Josh Harrison, a Profar, an Andrus, an Iglesias on the free agent market. I don't know if we're going to – in terms of big trades, I think we'll see a couple of trades just to free up roster spots. You're good, Jay Big Boy. Don't worry about it. I want to see a 21 wild card game repeat. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I loved that. I was there at that wild card game. That was the best Red Sox moment of my life. Saw Ted Williams in 1986 pregame Old Timers game. That's pretty cool. Can you raffle off your... I didn't get a David Ortiz autograph. I just met him. Alex Core's predicted to get manager of the year this season. What do you think about? I would love that. Yeah, I could see that. I don't think we need any more. I don't think we need any more DH options, Mike. Red Sox trade for Edward Cabrera. I would love that. I would love for them to trade for Edward Cabrera. I don't know if they're gonna do that. Can we see your setup? My camera's kind of stationary, so I don't know if I can do that. It's really not that impressive. It's a Mac computer. It's a Logitech 1080p HD camera. I got the Yeti. I can move the Yeti up a little bit. I got the Yeti blue, one step up from the Snowball, and then I got this sort of like just spit guard basically is what it is, and then I have my iPad here to read it, and then a ring light. Thoughts on Dave O'Brien in the booth? I like Dave O'Brien for what he does, but I think what we need right now is a little homegrown love, right? That's why I would love Mike Monaco. Fell in love with the Red Sox during the 1999 All-Star game. I was 1 year old. My dad's a diehard Red Sox Pedro Martinez fan. My mom is a diehard Manny Ramirez fan. Your mom and dad got pretty good taste in players. You should make a video on the pitching potential we have and how you think it might look in the upcoming years. Not a bad idea. Maybe I'll look into it. Could you throw a Remy jersey up behind you as well? Maybe. I'll look into it. What other pieces you think we need on the team besides lefty pitching? I think we need one more middle infielder, even if that's just like a small acquisition just to get someone on the bench. I think the lefty reliever is definitely what we need. I'm trying to think, is there any other like super big needs on this Red Sox team? I mean, obviously a young starting pitcher would be ideal, but yeah, I agree with you, T. Sid. Corbin, let's restart the offseason, but you are GM. What are the 5 moves you do in the offseason? I don't let Xander get to free agency. I still sign Rafael Devers. I still do Kenley. I still do Chris Martin. I think I still do Yoshida. And then I think you get Nate Eovaldi back, and I think you call it a day. What's going on, Dell? Someone asked how much longer the stream is going to be up. Probably 9:30. Genetic. Pop filter. Yeah, that's what this is called. Yeah. Why can't they trade for Cabrera? Just give them Rafaela? Because they're not just asking for Rafaela and Dahlbeck or Duran. They're asking for more than that. How long are you predicting Heim Bloom staying? I think it depends on the season. If you can tell, if Tristan Casas starts emerging, if Brian Bayo is really good, if Whitlock's good, and you can kind of start to see them being contending soonish, I think you give them a couple more years. But if they do really bad and there's a ton of public backlash, I could see this being his last year. Thoughts on Uke Broadcasting? Big fan. Big fan. Do you think they're shopping Dahlbeck? Yes. Or he won't be a utility guy now. My dad used to work with the Red Sox and was especially around people like David, Manny, and Pedro. Met them multiple times. That's really cool. Brock Holt will join the booth at some point. I was listening to an interview with Brock Holt on the Carabas podcast. He didn't really like TV. He didn't really like it. He thought he was too stiff. He didn't like the idea of kind of being limited in what he can say. So, I don't know if he's going to be in there. As much as I'd love him in there. Favorite team to use in MLB 05? Oh, man, that's a good question. I really love the St. Louis Cardinals in MVP 05. But I would always play with the Red Sox because I only wanted to play with Manny Ramirez. Many New Yorkers along the border get the Red Sox channel. I grew up near Albany like your dad, so there were many Red Sox fans. Yeah, you know what's funny, Eric? I'll tell you guys a funny story actually about that. My dad grew up a Yankee fan. He grew up in the era of Reggie Jackson, that sort of era, right? He was a big Yankees fan. And he moved to Boston when he graduated college. And he thought it'd be funny one year to bring. Okay, so let me preface this. His dad would watch the Yankee games with him every day, right? They used to watch Yankee games all the time, and his dad would actively, be happy when the Yankees did well because of my dad. So my dad goes to Boston, and he thinks it'd be kind of funny to buy his dad a Red Sox jacket, almost as sort of like a prank gift for some sort of occasion, right? So he brings it back to New York, gives it to my grandfather. And my grandmother's like, how did you know? Like, he loves that jacket. He never took it off. Turns out my grandfather, for the entirety of my dad's life, up until he was, 24, 25 years old, was a Red Sox, like a diehard Red Sox fan. And my dad just never knew. My grandfather never said anything. Just let him root for the Yankees. Let him do what he wants. Encouraged him, everything. And then one day was just like, oh, yeah, I'm a huge Red Sox fan. It's wild. So I don't know. I always thought that was a funny story. Yes. Um, yes, Jack. Yes and yes. My dad is now a pretty decent sized Red Sox fan for sure. I mean, um, he's lived in New England for 30 years. So yeah, he's a Red Sox fan. Um, Thoughts on Miguel Blaze? I think he's a lot of potential. I don't know, Beatty. Where did you see that? I haven't seen anything with. I know that they were interested in Lopez, but excuse me, I didn't see anything where they were in towards the very end and just didn't want to match anything. So I don't know about that. Just joined. Sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it, Brad. Welcome in. Starting outfielders, how would you take Corbin for this Red Sox team? If you're asking what my starting outfield would be on opening day, it'd be Doogie in right, Duvall in center, and Yoshida in left. Will Bobby Dahlbeck be traded or sent down to the minors? I think he'll end up being traded. Infield in 2024? No. Maybe 2025, Nate. Maybe 2025. That's if we're lucky. And there's no setbacks with York or Mayer. Mayer and York are not going to be ready for opening day 2024. O'Brien can't seem to build chemistry with his co-host, always dead air. Do you like Maz? If Maz talked like he does on his radio show, it'd be very entertaining. Yeah, they certainly would not let him talk the way he talked on his radio show, and he didn't. I liked him better in the booth than I did on his radio show. My grandfather was a New York Yankees fan growing up. Giants fan growing up and hated the Yankees. When he moved to San Francisco, when they moved to San Francisco, he moved to Mass and became a Sox fan. Interesting. My grandfather was a New York Giants fan growing up, so that's why you're a Giants fan, Johnny. And hated the Yankees when they moved to San Francisco. Oh, whoa. I was thinking a football team. I see what you mean now. My dad is a Reds fan, no changing it. Yeah, it happens. I feel like Heim always so far has done good with prospects. Yeah, I think so too. What's my second favorite team? I've always had a soft spot for the Twins. A lot of my extended relatives live in Minnesota. So when I was younger, I saw the old. One of my favorite memories is my uncle took me out on like a field trip basically to get White Castle, and then he knew a guy who worked maintenance for the Twins when they had that old stadium, and so he brought me in there. So I've always been partial to the Twins. Is York good? I have no clue. He has a really great hit tool. He was injured last year and had a little bit of a rough year when he wasn't injured. But if he can regain some of that, which it looks like he did in fall league ball, he could be a really exciting player. Yeah. I was at the game when Reggie Jackson got in a fight with manager Billy Martin. That's pretty cool, Dan. What kind of impact do you honestly think Nick York can make? I think he could be a Corey Seager type hitter. The problem is he just needs to get back on track. That's it. We all love him, but I'm concerned with Verdugo in right field. My only concern with Verdugo in right field is that he's going to put too much pressure on himself. Because last year in right field, I was never concerned about Doogie in right field. I didn't love it, but I was never like, oh my God, what's going to happen next with Doogie in right field? Plus, Alex Cora at Winter Weekend, another thing that they talked about during the sort of town hall there, was that they've been working with, and he said the right fielder, it's Alex Verdugo, with getting more athletic and being quick to and being quick with movement and being able to make jumps faster and read balls better. And so that gives me a little bit of confidence. And then his brother, Chris Verdugo, on Twitter also talked about how this offseason he's been working a lot in terms of quick lateral movements, which is really what you need to be an effective right fielder in Boston. So as much as I see the concern for Doogie, I also see some optimism there too. I was so excited when the Red Sox won the championship in 2018. How did you feel? So I was living in college with a bunch of people from Connecticut, New Jersey, who quite literally could care less about the Red Sox. So in 2018, as a junior in college, I was just watching the game by myself in my living room and just screaming at the top of my lungs like a little baby. I have a video of it somewhere. Um, I'm excited to see Cedane Rafael play later this year. Swing is just like Mookie's. Yeah, he's not Mookie though. I'd be excited if they sign Profar after they get Hand and Chafin. If they do, I don't think they'll get both of them, Jay. I think they'll get. I could see them going after Hand. Yeah, dark horse this year is Verdugo. I agree. My first piece of memorabilia was a Red Sox ball cap I wore for 20 years. Wow, that's crazy, Mike. That's crazy, Kenneth. That's really cool. Twins outfield's gonna be the best defensive outfield maybe ever. Yeah. Ever been on the Monster? Yeah, I went. I've been up there a couple of times. Standing room only. I've never sat on the Monster, but I did do standing room. Yeah. Also, do you think Marcelo Meyer is the future of the franchise along with Devers? Sorry if it's already been answered. I think Marcelo Meyer would be a great player. I don't. One thing that really concerns me about Marcelo Meyer is that question right there, right? Especially after letting Xander go. And the Red Sox are doing him no services by doing that, because now everyone's like, okay, well, the Red Sox think the future of the franchise is Marcelo Meyer. And that's just simply not fair. It's not fair to put that on a player. Some players live up to that expectations, but Marcelo Meyer could be a very decent, could be a very, very decent everyday shortstop and not an all-star or perennial MVP candidate and stuff like that, and people will still be disappointed. So I don't love the thought process of, is Marcelo Meyer going to save this franchise? Do you see the Red Sox having a winning record against AL East teams this year? Interesting. I think they get to 500 against AL East teams. It could be even more. How much did winter weekend tickets cost? We went to both days. It was $98 a ticket. Chances of Dewey getting traded, I'd say pretty low. Yeah, I saw that, Nate. Second ranked, yeah. I miss Mookie more than Brady, and Jones was trash this year. Man, I don't know. It was literally the year before where we went 2 wins away from going to the World Series, and we were supposed to be rebuilding. So I think give Bloom 2 more years of at least, regardless of what happens. I could see that. It was the broadcasters call it the biggest game of the year. Are you on Twitch streaming? Could be another great avenue for more views. I'm sure you've thought of that. I have, yeah. I don't love Twitch's platform. I much prefer YouTube. What's Ref Snyder going to be like this year? He's going to be a really great fourth outfielder. I think he is a surefire spot in this team, and I think he could have a big impact fourth outfield wise. I really like the fact that we got a guy who can play D. Cedane, yeah. They think the Orioles be competitive again? They didn't do enough for their rotation. Did the 2018 championship mean more to you because you experienced it as an adult? No. I think the one that truly, the two in the middle truly meant the most to me. 2007, because that was the age where I truly understood what was going on. I was 9 years old at the time. I wore 25 in Little League because of Mike Lowell. I tried to use Kevin Youkilis's swing. I remember Josh Beckett, those type of guys, Kurt Schilling, all those guys. I truly was that 2007 team, which was probably for people who, were 25, 30 years old at the time. It was one of their least favorite because it was, you had 2000, it was sandwiched in between 2004, which is breaking the curse, in 2013, which meant so much to the city. But for a kid like me, watching the team that, when I was 9 years old, I was watching every game. So 2007 has a special place in my heart. 2013, I was, 15 years old. I was starting to, there's a period in life where, you start focusing on other things aside from watching baseball every day. And it was right at the cusp of that, and it just drew me right back in. So 2013 will always be special to me as well. So yeah, I think it goes 2007, 2013 personally. Obviously not what it means to the Red Sox fan base, but just as a kid growing up. That'll be fun, Joseph. How long do you think Cora will be coach of this team? Will he get tired of Bloom? If they're not competitive by the time his contract is up, I could see him moving on because he said publicly, I don't want to be the manager of a rebuild. I want to be the manager of a competitor. The Orioles are so much better. They're not. Yeah, Brad. It's just the pressure. The pressure put on Marcelo Meyer is not fair. Who's my favorite, personal favorite Red Sox player of all time? Kevin Youkilis is up there. I loved Kevin Youkilis because I was a bigger kid when I was younger, so I was a first base, third baseman. Xander Bogaerts is up there as one of my favorite players of all time. Obviously, David Ortiz is in that conversation. Devers is very quickly going into that conversation. One of those guys. MLB trade rumors reported the Red Sox have interest in Josh Harrison, probably just signing above or below 50%. I put it right at 50. I think it's honestly a coin flip as to who they add in for another free agent. I don't feel satisfied with this team, but something in me keeps saying that this team could be good. Yeah. Do you think Mikey Romero switched position from shortstop to something else? I think it kind of depends. He's good defensively. Don't get me wrong, but he's not anything crazy. So yeah, I could see him going to, especially if Nick York has another really down year like he did last year, gets hurt again. I can see him moving to second base. Yes, I think Rob Refsnyder underrated. Do you think Rob Refsnyder will replicate? Yes and yes. Gotta say I'm gonna miss Eck in the booth. Yeah, I loved Eck in the booth. What Red Sox World Series team was the best? Overall the best? 2018. Will Wong play at first or second this year? I think we see Wong at second base, yeah. You missed it by 3 years. I did miss 2004 by 3 years. Do you think in the next 10 years Henry will sell the team? I don't know. Wow, you think the rotation's gonna have the 7th best ERA this year, Kelvin? I think there's a lot of potential with this rotation, but at the same time too, I think a lot of it's going to have to come down to health, and so there's a lot of question marks as well. Hold on, chat. I'm gonna take another drink of water so you get in an ad. I think between Meyer and Romero, whoever looks more likely to be the future shortstop stays, the other gets traded. Interesting thought process. I don't know if you hedge your bets on one person, though. That's my problem. I wouldn't want them to do that. That's awesome, Brad. Have a good night, Josh. Do you think the Red Sox trade for Reynolds? I don't think it's going to happen now. Would you have been okay with the Sox dishing out cash for Correa? Was his past surgeries too much to overlook? I think if it was a short-term contract, I would have been really happy with it. Anything more than 4 years, I would have been upset. How would I rate the starting rotation as a whole? I agree with you, Carl. I think a lot of this, especially pitching rotation, is going to come down to Chris Sale's health. As a whole, I would say its potential is a B+. It's currently right now with all the question marks. I would say you're sitting at a B- ish. Who is better, the 2018 Red Sox or 2004 Red Sox? I think on paper 2018. Favorite non-Red Sox player of all time? I loved Ryan Howard. When Andrew McCutchen was going through his MVP phase, I loved Andrew McCutchen. Trying to think of other guys I loved from regular baseball. Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols was a big one. I would say Albert Pujols was my favorite non-baseball player of all time. Will Walter, the starting pitcher, starting the big leagues this year? I could see him in the bullpen this year. Yeah. Do you think if the Red Sox made Xander Bogaerts captain, he would have stayed? No, you don't give up. Even if you make him the captain, you don't. They weren't going to give him 11 years. You don't give that up. Best starting pitcher for this Red Sox team, potential-wise, is Chris Sale. Bayo could end up going there a little bit. That's awesome that he guarded the trophy. Is Houck in the starting rotation this year? I don't think so. I think he ends up in the bullpen. International free agents going to have an impact anytime soon? No. 5 years, 6 years? 5 years. If you would have one player from the 2018 Red Sox in 2023, who would it be? Mookie Betts. Do you think Bayo is a future ace or middle of the rotation type player? Ace. Thanks, Sam. Have a good one. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Do you think Manny Ramirez should go into the Hall of Fame? He's the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen in my life. Do I think Devers will be the next captain? I don't know if Devers will ever get the C. Tanner Houck should be a starter for this team. Do I think Bauer gets signed? Yeah, I think someone will take a waiver on him. I don't want him in Boston now. What would you pay Correa for 150? Probably around what I would do. I'm going to go Corbin. Hopefully, you can stream again soon. Yeah, I stream every other Wednesday until the season starts, and it'll be every Wednesday. Why can't the MLB move the Miami Marlins to the AL like they did the Astros? I could see something like that coming. Yeah, especially if they actually do this, if they actually do the expansion team soon, I could see something like that happening. Remember how dominant Tim Lincecum was those few years? Yeah. Who's filling the captain role now that Xander gone? Looking like Kike Hernandez right now. I agree with you, Nate. Yeah. How about we was about to get A-Rod, then the Yankees stole him. Lucky you missed that. Yeah, no. Should the Red Sox sign Trevor Bauer? No. Matt Holliday is one of my favorite non-Red Sox players of all time. Yeah, Matt Holliday in his heyday was a big one. I also loved Josh Hamilton. I loved Josh Hamilton, and I never really understood what the controversy was because I was too young. But as you get older, you read more about it. I love Josh Hamilton. And it was all because of the home run derby. As a kid, watching a guy hit 37 tanks or something like that, you instantly, that's your favorite player. You think Whitlock or Houck has a more productive year? Whitlock, I think. Has anyone ever asked where you keep the minions? What do you mean? Grew is because of my nose, Mike. Social Blades predict you'll have 10,000 subs in 5 months. Wow. Hey, if I get 10,000 subs by what would 5 months be? June? June. If we get 10,000 subs by June, we'll do something crazy. I'll figure that out. Yeah, Kelvin. I think the Bard situation. I mean, fans have a right to be cautious about the Whitlock situation, but with Bard, it was a completely different situation. So, ever been to Yankee Stadium? Yeah, I've been a couple of times. Mondesi closes the door on Kim Wright. I wouldn't say fully closes the door, Paul. It makes it very unlikely. Yeah, I agree, Jack. Because excuse me, you're not gonna have a team, especially if I guess if Oakland moves to Las Vegas, I mean it's not super far of a stretch for them to be in the AL West. But I think once you get that expansion team in, people have been talking about Tennessee, right? And obviously it wouldn't make sense for them to be, they would have to be in an AL team, and so we're gonna see a bit of a shakeup, yeah. Should Jacoby Ellsbury and Dustin Pedroia ever be in the Hall of Fame? Dustin Pedroia, maybe. Jacoby, no. Todd Helton, Adrian Beltre are my picks for the Hall next year. I like that a lot. Who else was on the Hall of Fame ballot that I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool if they got in? Adrian Gonzalez could make a decent case. MLB needs a team in Montana. I mean, there's a reason no one's putting any professional sports teams in Montana. Why don't you want Bauer? He's just, I shouldn't have to lower my morals to root for a player. I shouldn't have to do it. He also hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball in 2 years. You think PD gets 15 retired? I think if PD comes back into a coaching role at some point, yeah, I think it will get retired. But yeah, probably should go do my math now. All right, enjoy. So I guess we'll be able to see Sedane play in Worcester this season. I'm going to love that. Yeah, I'll probably go to a couple games to see him too. Yeah, that's a tough one too, Ryan, for sure. If you get that many by June, you can fly out here to Kentucky and celebrate. Maybe I'll fly out to Kentucky. Shave your head bald for 10,000 subscribers? Oh, God, that sounds terrifying. Sam, 199 super chat. Thank you so much, Sam, for your... There it is. I was waiting for it to pop up. I love that celebration. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Sam. 199, no message. Can we get some claps in the chat for Sam Mike, please, for the 199 super chat? I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get some... I got to get my claps. Where are my claps? There we go. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate your donation. Thank you. Should the Red Sox trade for Mike Trout? I mean, hey, I'm not going to be mad if the Red Sox trade for Mike Trout. What's going on with my mouse right now? Do I have plans to go to Fort Myers for spring training? I did a little bit. We'll see if they actually work out, though. No, I don't want Bauer. Veritek still isn't at his 33 retired. That's because Veritek's still playing. If Bauer signs for... Oh, that's what we just read. We need a counter to call. No. Oh, yeah. A couple of people are asking about the robo-umps. I don't love it, no. I mean, I guess it depends on how they implement it. If it's going to be a straight robot, I don't love it. If they're gonna do something like they've been doing with the challenges, right, where you get a certain amount of challenges on balls and strikes a game, and you go like this, and then they have the robo ump decide if it's a strike or a ball. I don't hate that. Should the Red Sox trade for Cody Bellinger? No, I would rather have Duvall than Cody Bellinger. Do you think Devers wins an MVP? If not, how close? I think it honestly truly depends on if Shohei Ohtani ends up in the American League or National League next year, truly, because he is quite literally, you're gonna have to beat a guy who can be an ace level pitcher and an all-star level hitter, and that's gonna be really hard to do. But yes, I think Devers could win an MVP. Devers was in the conversation for MVP before he got injured. Do you think a pitch clock will work? Yes, I do. I think the pitch clock will work for sure. Ohtani to Boston, I'd love it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Robo-umps are inevitable in some form, for sure. Yes. Yeah, they're coming. I think it's about balance, right? You don't want to take too much of the humanity out of the game, but you also want to make sure the game's being played as fairly and accurately as possible. So you got to find some sort of median there. Should I wear my Red Sox jersey to school tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, do it. Mike Madness, I'm going to wait until this pops up so you can see it on stream. But everyone get your claps ready. I'm waiting for it to pop up. There it is. Thank you for the amazing analysis, Mike. Thank you so much for the $2.10 super chat. It means the world to me, truly. Thank you so much. Let's get some claps in the chat for him, huh? Did Jacoby Ellsbury deserve to be on the Hall of Fame ballot? I don't even know if he deserves to be. He'd be in the Hall of Very Good. If this is a guy who didn't get injured, I think he'd have a much better case. Do I think Yoshida will hit over 300? I don't think it'll be over 300. I think it'll be close to 300, though. How will the pitch clock affect Boston pitchers? I think like guys like Whitlock who played in the minors a little bit with it. Guys like Bayo will be fine with it, right? It's going to be the guys like Sale, Pivetta, and Kluber that really need to work on it. Sale's always been a pretty quick worker. The only one I'm concerned with truly in the rotation is Nick Pivetta. He always took a lot of time. Duran figures it out in 2023. I think it depends on how they use Duran. I could see it a little bit, yeah. What player do you want for what player would you want for free? Ohtani or have Bogarts back? I love Bogarts to death, but Ohtani. I think Beatty, I think there's a lot of sort of underground hype for Tristan Casas. I think the negativity of the offseason has really been sort of at the forefront here, but I've been preaching. I made a whole video on this channel about how I think Casas is the next superstar of this Red Sox team, and I truly believe that. JD, that guy to be on the ballot but never make it. Yeah. Do you think the Red Sox need another lefty since they only have one in the pen? Yes, I think they do. Who's your team? Who's your team in the show 2023 next year? You mean Diamond Dynasty or you mean just my regular like team? I always do the Red Sox. Who will win minor league player of the year? That is a tough one. I have no idea. Bonds and Clemens should be in the Hall, right? I don't know why they. Yes, Ryan. Yes. Yeah, Luis Garcia is going to be a really big problem with the pitch clock. Yeah. You think Duran moves to a utility role at outfield, infield? I could see that. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Pivetta works very slowly when he's struggling, really slowly. Someone asked if I was covering the World Baseball Classic. If my problem is this isn't just a straight baseball channel. If it was a straight baseball channel, I'd be all over it. What I'm planning on doing is covering Red Sox players in the World Baseball Classic. So like if Devers has an insane game, or if Kike Hernandez has an insane game or something like that, I'll cover it. But I'm not going to do like a game by game breakdown on this channel. Does that make sense? I will probably go live for one of them. We'll watch a game together for sure. Are the Pirates a 500 team this year? Very underrated moves. I just think their pitching rotation is going to be the downfall. I mean, they only really picked up Rich Hill. You can never have too many players who stress out the pitcher with their speed. Yeah, I think you're right, Brad, but he has to get on base to do that. That's my big problem. Will Sale make it to the Baseball Hall of Fame? If he had Hall of Fame numbers before he got injured. So if he can come back and have 5-6 really, really solid years, there's an outside chance he gets on there. Jeff Passon, Red Sox trade for Mookie Betts. Red Sox trade Mookie Betts. Wait, what, Rob? How do you think the Red Sox are going to do in 2022 before the season started? I thought they were going to be really good. I did. I thought they were going to be really good. I thought the Story pickup was really good. I thought our rotation looked solid. If Casas gets called up, we'll dial back. Casas is already on the team, Mike. He's definitely our starting first baseman. And yeah, I could see Dahlbeck being traded. And the Dominican team is insane, yeah. What was it like to meet David Ortiz? It was a dream come true. Yeah, it was a dream come true. Dominican team is insane. Yeah, we just talked about it. Do you think we get anyone good in a trade for Dahlbeck or Duran? Not MLB quality good, no. What prospect do I like more, Rafaela or Maeda? I would say Rafaela. Did you mention to Carabas that your show gets more views than his despite the DraftKings money? No. One, because it doesn't. He just doesn't put a lot of effort into YouTube, but his podcasts are so much bigger than mine, and he's and at this point in his career, Corbin doesn't care about, how many views his podcasts are getting. He's transitioning, he's doing Nesson, he's doing stuff like that. And so, I just think he's looking at everything so much differently now. He's doing what he wants to do, and he's doing it really well. Corbin will always be the pioneer of really baseball content outside of, John Boy and stuff like that. Corbin was one of the first big ones. So, I respect Corbin a lot. And he really is a very down-to-earth guy. The fact that, he sat there for an hour and a half after he did a very stressful town hall in front of a very hostile crowd and talked to every single person waiting for him. So, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I think the Red Sox should have gotten Josh Bell in free agency. You agree? Yeah, I would have really liked Josh Bell. I think the thing with Josh Bell is he didn't really want to be a full-time DH. I think that's what the Red Sox would have used him for. It's not a bad thing to compare him to Freddie Freeman, Brad. I don't hate Jaron Duran. I think I think he had a lot of mental health issues. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. If he can get his head straight, I think he'd be a great player. Do you think Matto will make an impact on a starter this year team? I don't think he'll be a starter, no. I think he'll be in the bullpen. He's Rich Hill Hall of Fame. He's pitched for like 60 years in the big leagues. If Rich Hill threw a Cy Young or two in there, I think he'd have an outside shot. But no, I don't think he's a Hall of Famer now. I think overall, Chad, I think this is going to be one of the more interesting seasons we've seen in terms of storylines in a long time. So what's the reason we got rid of Vasquez? Why didn't they sign him in free agency? Well, he was actually asked about this. Heimblum was actually asked about this, about the trade deadline. He talked about Vasquez. And one of the things he talked about was when he got to the trade deadline, the idea was, okay, we're still in contention, so what we're going to try and do is buy. But if the right move comes along, because we are out of contention right now, the right deal comes along, we're going to take it. And they got the right deal for Vasquez, and they took it because I think everyone kind of knew Vasquez wasn't getting re-signed. The Red Sox made it fairly clear that he was not getting re-signed. They tried to trade him in 2021. It didn't work out. So they got the deal they wanted. And they took it. Thoughts on the Story signing? I loved it when it first happened. And I still think there's time for it to be a very successful signing. I need to see, what I need to see is what he looks like when he comes back for his injury. What current player do you despise and detest? For me, it's Manny Machado. I don't love, what's his name? Oh my God. Bo Bichette. I don't like Bo Bichette. I hate Giancarlo Stanton. I hate Randy Arozarena. I think that rounds it out. I've forgiven Machado. Turner's going to be a fan favorite and make an impact, a real pro like Martinez. I agree. Red Sox signed a former Cub pitchers. Yeah, I saw that, to a minor league deal. Oh, I see, Brad. Yeah, I agree. Rich Hill's a Frank Gore of baseball. Do I like the Red Sox new catcher? Yeah, if you want to check out my full opinion, I do have a video on it. I do really like Alfaro. I think there's a lot of upside to Alfaro. I don't know if he's not going to be a starting catcher or anything like that. So, Ben, we were only 2 games out of the wild card spot by the time the trade deadline came around. In hindsight, yeah, this team wasn't going to do anything, but at the time there was a chance that we turned it around a little bit and got in there. So I don't know about barely in contention, but we were definitely in contention for a wild card spot for sure. When is Story coming back? Probably July. I'm going to put it there. Why Bo? I think he's fake cocky. He's really not as good as I think people make him out to be. Thoughts on the Cleveland police finding Terry Francona's lost scooter? It was it was about to be a national crisis, and I think the men and women of the Cleveland Police Department did their due diligence in making sure and ensuring that justice was served in the correct and proper format. And we were on the brink of war in this country because Terry Francona did not have a scooter. So you have to applaud him. What would you have done in 2018 if we signed Stan? I'd probably love Stan if he was on our team. It was interesting to see how Machado just realized they needed to be a leader. But yeah, I agree. He really did. He grew up in San Diego. It was cool to see. Who do you think is going to win the World Baseball Classic? It's going to be hard to beat Dominican Republic. Story may be out the whole year. I have faith he'll be back this year. John Lackey, yeah, I could see a lot of Red Sox fans him being up there. From a 15-year-old's perspective in 2015, I like John Lackey. MLB trade rumors, Jazz Chisholm could be coming to Boston. They're interested. What players would need to go for the trade to be good? Man, you're going to need to give up a lot to get Jazz Chisholm here. I would be shocked if they made that trade. You're probably giving up Rafaela. You're probably giving up Maeda or Walter. You're probably giving up a bunch. Do you think there is a good chance? Do you think there was a good chance of getting Carlos Rodon this offseason? I think at one point, yeah. I think at one point there was a legitimate chance. The Red Sox have the third most money in Major League Baseball. Why do you think they're not going after big names? Have a good night, Evan. I think their original plan was to go after big names. I think they pivoted their plan after Xander Bogaerts left. Best all-time Red Sox reliever? I couldn't even begin to tell you. I'm not very good with relievers. I would go Koji, just because that's who I know. Red Sox got screwed long-term deals too many times. They seem against big-term deals anymore besides the Devers deal. I think they're just being more selective with it, which I can understand a little bit. I mean, they with the way free agency is trending, they have to get comfortable with long-term deals, especially if you're talking about premier position players. That's the way it's trending, because teams are realizing that, hey, instead of eating money in terms of value, we're going to eat years. We're going to eat 4 years as opposed to eating $10 million a year, because the luxury tax is going to keep increasing, and that hit in the AAV is going to be less and less. And so it's just, the Red Sox are going to have to get with it. I think you're starting to see the turn with Devers. I hope. This group feels like they could be really fun to watch, 2013-ish. What do you think? I agree. Yeah. I would love Jazz in Boston, but I think a lot of old heads would hate it. Yeah, it'd be interesting. What would you grade this offseason for the Red Sox so far? Yeah, I hated Brett Gardner as well, Brad. The Red Sox, I would give it a B-. I'd give the Red Sox offseason B-, because on paper you did get better, right? You did fill holes. But when you look at what they were setting out to do at the beginning of the offseason, or what they had talked about they were doing, they didn't do it. And that was Xander Bogaerts, right? And that was, and it was also, spending money and making a big splash. And Yoshida's a good guy, but he's not that big splash. So, because they didn't do what they wanted to do, I would say, I would say a B-, because I think they did get better on paper. Do you think the Red Sox got better? Yes. Free agency. You now need to give young kid generational wealth. It's a huge gamble. Yeah. What does it take to raise that? I don't know. I truly don't know if it's possible, because I don't think they're going to. Ben, I've seen the 2013 ALCS, and obviously I've seen the 2004 I mean, I watched the 2004 ALCS. I just don't really remember it, but I've watched the entire series. Yeah. Is that Prodigy? I think that's the guy who went to Oakland. What 3 Red Sox legends do you take? 1 starting pitcher, right relief pitcher, and a hitter. Pedro, Koji, and Ted Williams. Red Sox offseason remembers the loss of Xander. In the long term, Devers deal will be crucial. Yeah. I fully agree. All right. Okay, chat. This is the end for me. I mean, 2.5 hours is pretty good. For those of you who stayed in here for 2.5 hours, really impressive. Really impressive. I appreciate it. I feel like we've covered just about everything right now. You know, we covered about as much as we're gonna cover. So yeah, we'll probably do a video Friday. I'm thinking I'm doing a video detailing, and shout out Bob for bringing this one up, detailing what Jarren Duran may look like as a second baseman. So that could be a fun video for sure. But if you stuck around this whole time, thank you so much. I appreciate you. To the people who donated this stream and you know, did the super chats and stuff like that, I truly appreciate you. For all the new subs, thank you. If you have not subbed yet, please consider doing so. We talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button on this video as well. Helps out a ton. Would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. And I will see you in the red seat. Good night, everybody.